Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it.
Hey, welcome to another episode. On this one, I want to talk a little bit about redundancies and layoffs because they've been happening a lot lately. Since last year, to be honest, they've been happening over and over again. We hear them in the news repeatedly. Happened to me. Like, I got made redundant in 2022. So I just want to talk about how it feels and how to navigate it. How to make those layoffs and those redundancies work in your favor, and how to handle it when it's happened to you. Especially, like, I know I've spoken to some people it's happened more than once, and just navigating that can feel really, really hard. So yeah, let's talk about it. The world has changed. Things are not the way they used to be. This current job market is insane. And layoffs and redundancies are going to keep happening for the foreseeable. So how do we work around it? And how do we create more security for ourselves? First thing I want to say is job security is a myth. At this current time, job security is a myth. And if you don't learn anything else from this episode, just know that job security is a myth. But there are still ways you can create security within your 9 to 5, and we'll talk about it. First thing I want to say realistically when it comes to layoffs or redundancies is don't take it personally. It's not you. Like, you're not being made redundant because you're rubbish. You're not being made redundant because of you as a person. It is not you. I know so many people who are like, I've been at this company 10, 15 years. I've been here 5 years. I've been here 2 years, whatever it is. I can't believe I'm being laid off or I'm being made redundant. It's not you. The current climate is so volatile. We all know the cost of living crisis, we're in a recession, the whole thing. Companies, even when you see them talking about their big figures, like they're saying like we made this much in this quarter, some of them are still behind. They might have made 80 million, but guess what? Look, quarter before that, they made 200 million. Now they've got to figure out how to use the 80 million and make that stretch when before they was making 200 million. And I know for some of us who are earning peanuts and compared to that, we're like, why should we care? But the truth is, even at big companies, the biggest bill any company usually has is their staffing costs. So now with things like AI and people streamlining, companies are going to find ways to get 2 people to do the job of 10 people. They're going to look for quicker, easier routes. They're going to look at the bigger bills. So some people, you've been in your company 10 years. So you're probably on quite a high salary because you've gotten the increase every year compared to some of the other workers who are earning a lot less. Everyone's still good at their job. Even if you're great at your job and someone else is pretty good, a lot of the time they'll get you to transfer knowledge. Let's be honest. Your companies have you training people. Why? Because when they make you redundant, those people are going to now take your job. Knowledge transfer is a thing. They make you redundant, but before they do, they've got you training people. Pay attention. If suddenly you're losing responsibilities, but you're being asked to train someone else, pay attention. Something could be coming. It doesn't matter how long you've been at a company. But also, it's not personal. It's not about you. It's about their bottom line. Companies care about themselves. They care about their bottom line. That's why they exist. Companies exist to make profits. They exist to care about their own bottom line. It's not personal to you. They have looked and said, we need to make cuts, and you happen to fall into those cuts. That's just the first thing I want to say to you, because anyone listening to this, I know how hard you can take it and you can really internalize it and make it mean there's something wrong with you. It's not you. Even if this is your second layoff, even if this is your third layoff or your third redundancy, it's not you. Getting sacked and being told you're bad at your job, that's a different conversation. But for this conversation, being laid off when there are mass layoffs and mass redundancies, it's not you. Companies can't afford to keep us sometimes. Companies remove whole departments lately. Why? Because they found out that they can operate without it. It's not a required department. So why do they need it? They are cutting costs and they are streamlining. They are trying to increase their profits. Sometimes they make their profits bigger, not by selling more, because they're in a market where they're realizing you can't necessarily sell more because people are being smarter with their money. So because you can't sell more, where can you cut back? And you might be one of those cutbacks. So just don't take it personally. Feel your feelings. I'm never telling you not to feel your feelings. I felt my feelings. I cried. Like, all honesty, all reality. I felt like I knew it might be coming when my company was being sold, but I still cried like a baby. That was my job. I'd been there a really long time. I'd put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. However, the tears didn't last long because I was reminded of all the things I got in return. The part-time hours for full-time money. The titles, the 4 different titles, being promoted all the way up to director level. Like, all the things I was able to get. Negotiating the annual leave. Having more annual leave than I've ever had. Why? Because I negotiated. So I reminded myself that I worked that job as hard as they worked me. And sometimes the reason these redundancies and layoffs feel so bad is because you haven't worked the job like the job works you. And you feel used. You feel used and abused because you were loyal, you was hardworking, and then they threw you out like yesterday's trash. Guess what? Get everything you can while you can. Because loyalty is not rewarded anymore. Hard work is barely rewarded. So if you can negotiate more, if you can sell yourself and get everything you want in return, do that. Because sometimes the redundancies come out of nowhere. The layoffs, they come out of nowhere. At least when you're crying through those tears, you can be reminded of all the great things that you got in return for all the years of service that you've been there. Instead of just a bye, see you later. And I know in the US, depending on the state, they don't have the same rules for being laid off as we do. Like, if you've been in a company more than 2 years in the UK, you can get redundancy pay. If you've been made redundant, they need to pay you. If you've been in a company 10 years, you get a payout. The government changed it recently, so the payouts are less. Anyone who's looked that up online, go to the .gov website and you'll see that they've capped it now. So if you're earning a certain amount of money and it's over the cap, you're actually only going to get whatever the cap is. So I don't know, if you earn £1,000 a week and the cap's 500, you're only going to get 500 a week regardless. So yeah, look into that if you have been made redundant or are going through redundancy. Packages aren't as great as they have been. Some companies are still honouring packages, and some of you have it in your contract. So it all depends. If your contract says you get standard redundancy, then it's standard redundancy. These are all things, guys, that you can negotiate when you take a job. So for all people listening that haven't been made redundant or have never been made redundant, remember, you can negotiate your redundancy package. You can negotiate your exit package. Like, I've negotiated before, like, my termination package. Because some companies will say you need to give 8 weeks notice. I don't want to give you 8 weeks notice. I've been trapped in that before where I had to give 8 weeks notice. And actually it worked out to my benefit in that case. But I want to give you 6 weeks maybe, or 4 weeks. Or I want to see if I can negotiate my exit package. I want to negotiate, like, I'll read, and is it standard redundancy? Let's talk about it. Like, I don't want to sign this contract for standard redundancy. Like, let's ask these questions up front, because things are changing and we need to cover our own backs. And that leads me on to the second thing I want to say to you guys. Put yourself first. Stop putting these companies before yourself and being like, I'm loyal and I'm not going to leave because, like, oh, my boss, what will my boss do without me? Like, I've really worked with women in my coaching program who have said, I don't want to leave this job because, like, my boss will be stuck, because, like, I'm the only person, like, other people have left and blah, blah, blah. Listen, I got to tell you guys that some of you will do that and then your boss will turn around and leave because your boss will be looking out for themselves. And some of you are listening, and I know that's happened to you because that's happened to people I've worked with. You need to put yourself first, because a company will always put themselves first. When they're making mass layoffs and redundancies, I'm not saying that some of them don't feel bad, but they'll still do it. It doesn't matter how bad they feel. They're still going to make you redundant. They're still going to lay you off. Why? Because they've got to put themselves first. You guys need to put yourself first. So start negotiating your redundancy package beforehand. Start leaving jobs when you see things are looking a bit fishy. No matter if you've been there 10 years, they're asking you to transfer your knowledge, all of it. They're not just saying to you, train people. They're saying, like, transfer all your knowledge, like, help this person. They're giving you less work, less responsibility. Leave. The writing is on the wall. Put yourself first. They're not willing to put your salary up, but you've been there years. You work your butt off. Leave. I know it's not that easy when you love where you are, but trust me, I'm not saying this from a place of like, oh, just leave. It's easy to leave. I know it's hard to leave. I know you have to consider things, and I know you have to look at all your options. But when you're looking at all your options, leave should be one of those options if you need to. You should be able to consider, this is not where I need to be. This is not where I want to be, because they can't give me everything I want. It's okay to love where you are, be grateful for everything they've given you, grateful for all the promotions and the pay rises and the training and having a great manager, and still want to leave because you want better for yourself. Sometimes we're in a season of our life where we need to earn more. Maybe we're going to buy a house. Maybe we're getting married. Like, there's so many reasons we might want this extra money. That might be the season you're in. We've got 2 young kids. They're both in nursery. We've got to pay nursery fees. You need to put yourself first. When you put yourself first in your career, I promise you, layoffs and redundancies hit a little bit less hard. They still hit hard. Like I said, I cried. But it hits a little bit less hard when you realize what you got in return. When you realize that every cloud really does have a silver lining because you worked that job as hard as it worked you. If you've been laid off or made redundant recently and you're coming from a company that you've been at for a long time, don't compare companies. No 2 companies are the same. So you need to set real expectations, like realistic expectations. Just because your old company used to do X, Y, Z doesn't mean all these new companies are going to, or any company is going to. Every company operates the way it wants. Just because your old company gave a 12% bonus every year doesn't mean you're going to be able to find that. You might be able to negotiate it, but doesn't mean that every company will. So be careful. Also know this. When you've been made redundant, a lot of the time, or you've been laid off and you've been somewhere for a really long time, your next job will probably be a rebound job. Because you're going to compare it. It's human nature. Even though I'm telling you not to, you're going to compare it. And if you compare it enough and you dislike the new company enough, you will leave. Not because there was actually anything necessarily wrong with the new company, but that it was so different from what you've come from, it becomes a shock to your system. You've just been somewhere for 10 years. It is like being in a relationship for 10, 12 years, being married, then going through your divorce and getting in a new relationship, or being in a regular relationship. You didn't get divorced. You were just in a relationship 10 years. You broke up and now you're in a new relationship. And you think the new relationship is great, but then slowly you're like, this ain't what I want, because it's not like the old one. Even if you weren't happy in the old one, you got used to it. A lot of the times, relationships aren't even about love half the time. They're just about comfortability. They're about 2 people getting used to each other, 2 people getting into a habit and a routine. Some of you are in relationships that are habits. Your job is no different. It has become a habit. It has become a routine. Now you go to this new place and it is a shock to your system and you're like, nah, I want to run for the hills. This is not for me. So a lot of times you end up in a job where you might only stay for a little while because it becomes the rebound job, because you just dive straight in and you thought like, oh, hopefully you've got all these hopes and wishes that it's going to be great, but it's so different from what you know, so far out of your comfort zone that sometimes you just want to leave. So just try your best not to compare roles. But if you do and you end up in a rebound job, again, it's not you. Sometimes it's how we have to process. Losing a job that you've been in for a long time can feel like grief. And anyone that doesn't agree, that's fine. You don't have to. But I have worked with enough people and spoken to enough people to understand and to see the stages of grief. Like, people really mourn their jobs, especially if they like their jobs. People really mourn their packages, especially if they had a good benefit package. Like, just understanding that you're not weird if you really loved your job and you cried because you left the job, or you cried because you were disappointed in the fact that they laid you off and it could have been someone else. Why you? Because I know that question comes up. Why me? So these are the things I want you to do when you're navigating a layoff or redundancy. Do not take it personally. Put yourself first. Don't compare. Next, I want you to take your time if you can. Don't just start applying to jobs out of panic and then being like, oh my gosh, I'm not hearing anything back. It's a new market. Things have changed. Things are moving differently. If you know you need a job because your redundancy package is rubbish or there is no redundancy package, start putting out your CV. Make sure it's a quality CV. Start networking. The first thing you should do is start networking. If you get made redundant, the first thing I did was not even look at my CV. I started networking. Started talking to people that I'd spoken to previously or people that I knew, and started putting the feelers out for a role. Started saying I'm going to be looking for a new role soon. Da, 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 da. You don't have to get into specifics. Just say I'm going to be looking for a role. Start networking. Oh, I'm looking for a new position in XYZ. Start networking. That's exactly what I did. I started adding people on my LinkedIn that I thought might be good to network with. Started networking with people that I had already had in my network, people that I'd previously had conversations with about jobs, but I was already in a job. Recruiters that had previously reached out to me that I wasn't interested in at the time. I reached out to them. Like, I went back through my old messages on my LinkedIn and started reaching out to people. Start networking. Immediately start networking. Have that in your back pocket. Then look at your CV. If you've got a big payout and you've got time, take your time. If you've got savings and you've got time, take your time. Like, I was lucky enough that I've got investments and I had savings, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to relax for a little while. I'm not even going to look for a job, because I got made redundant at the end of a year. It was right near Christmas, which also is why I cried as well, because that's really sad. Like, I got to pay for Christmas, I got things to pay for, and now I've been made redundant. It was just all on my head. But I was like, you know what, I'm not looking for a job till the new year. I'm going to get through December and January, and then in February I'm going to start looking. And that's exactly what I did. I gave myself grace and I gave myself time because I was able to. I know not everyone has that luxury, because previously when I've been out of a job, I haven't been able to do that. I haven't had that luxury. I've needed a job. And that's the other thing. If you need a job, go take a job. Don't be picky. Take a job. While you're in that job, look for the job you actually want. I'm a big believer in that. Some people are like, no, but when you take a job, you've got to stay there for a while. Why? These companies will always put themselves first. Why are we putting them before ourselves? If I need a job right now, I'm going to take it. And if in 6 months I found a better opportunity for myself, I'm going to do that. And this is something I want everyone to know. If something better comes along, leave. You are not being disloyal. I'm not saying every single time. Like, come on, you're not going to jump ship every 3 months. Like, why? Why are you doing that? Now you need to look at yourself and ask the question, why? But if I'm in a job and something way better comes along, it's not about loyalty. It doesn't have to look bad. Listen, if you get laid off twice in a row, you will turn up to interview confidently and be saying like, well, I got laid off. That was the reason why I've moved, like, after 6 months and then 6 months again. Have that same energy, have that same confidence when you leave a job out of choice. If I have left a job after 6 months out of choice, I'm already ready with my answer when they ask me, why have you left that job? You guys need to get clear on that answer. Why have you left 2 jobs? Like, in the last year, you've had 2 different jobs. What was the reason? And be strategic. Don't necessarily leave a job before you have another one lined up. But if I've left a job because I had something better, I'm going to let them know. And when they ask me, oh, Adele, why have you left your last 2 jobs within 6 months? I've got a strategic answer ready. Like, why did you leave your last job in 6 months? To be honest, I haven't left yet. I'm still at my current job and I am enjoying it. However, when this role came up and I saw it on LinkedIn, it just popped up on my LinkedIn. I couldn't not look at it. I wasn't actively looking for work, but I could not let this role pass me by, because you are looking for someone who XYZ. That is exactly who I am. I felt like the job advert was talking to me. I feel like at this company, I'd be able to bring XYZ. Say the things that you know they're looking for. It makes you look good in the interview. And then also it helps them to focus on that rather than focus on why you left after 6 months. You don't need to talk about why you left a job after 6 months, like they don't pay me enough and they're crap. We don't talk about old companies. Nah, I'm not downgrading anyone to get what I want. I don't need to make someone else look bad to get what I want, even if they should look bad because they're terrible. I'm going to tell you why I want to work for your company. I'm going to focus on the positives, because when I focus on the positive and my energy is positive, guess what? The person in interview comes along with you. They're now in your positive energy. They're not worrying about the question they just asked you. So be ready, be strategic. Have you got your answer ready? We have to put ourselves first. We have to. It's not selfish. It's actually selfish of you to not put yourself first, because then when you do get laid off or you do get made redundant or a company treats you badly, you've literally put all your eggs in one basket, and now you feel even worse than you would have if you were in a position where you were putting yourself first. No one is rewarding loyalty. They used to in the old days. You stay at a company for a long time, they would reward that loyalty. There are hardly any companies left like that. They're not rewarding your loyalty. They're rewarding your loyalty with a layoff. They're rewarding your loyalty with a redundancy. They're rewarding your loyalty by getting someone else in who can do your job for less money because you've been there years and you're so senior now, you get paid too much and they want to cut costs of staffing and you're one of the costs. Leaving for something better will never make you look bad. Like I said, we're not talking about leaving a job every month, every 2 months. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about genuinely weighing up your options and making a decision that's best for you and your family and best for the season that you're in. You all know that my recent move, I didn't want to have as much responsibility as I had in my previous job. Why? Because my business is growing. I love working in corporate. I love working 9 to 5 in good corporate because I've had the bad side too. I like having a 9 to 5 job. I enjoy it. But I don't want to work full time at the moment because I've got my business growing. I want to have more flexibility in how I work in my 9 to 5. So I took a job that was only 2 days a week. And at the time I was like, this is not going to work because I need to work at least 3 days a week to pay my bills. But we're here. God is good and it all worked out. I'm in that season where I'm not trying to climb the corporate ladder. I'm not trying to be back at director level because that's not the season I'm in right now. I was speaking to someone else about this recently, like a new client, and she was saying to me, I make really good money. That's not what I'm looking for anymore in a role. I'm looking for a seat at the table. I want to be a decision maker. I want that new title because the money, I know how to do that. There's something else I'm looking for in my career. There's a season for everything. If money is something you currently need, then that will be your focus. And if your company can't give it to you, go elsewhere. Because when they're ready to lay you off, they're not worrying about your bills or how they're getting paid. But you're worrying about how it looks. Or like, they've been so good to me, I shouldn't leave. Yes, they've been good to you. Not taken away from that. Now you also need to be good to yourself. You've been good to them in return. This is the thing. Sometimes we forget that, yes, a company's been good to us, but have we not been good to them in return? Have we not worked hard? Have you not ever thought that the reason they were good to you is because you were so good to them? They're just returning the favor. You've worked so hard. You've done so well. You've helped them so much that now they're being good to you. You work for a great company. Great companies produce great work because the staff want to work for them and do good things. So you're giving them something back in return. And sometimes that will come to an end. And whether you choose to make it come to an end or they do, it will come to an end. Redundancies are happening, guys. Layoffs are happening. But let's make sure in general we're putting ourselves in a great position. Let's make sure in general we're thinking of ourselves first. Understand that your next role might be the rebound role. Also, understand that when you get an offer, because some of the people I work with feel like just because they've got an offer, they can't keep interviewing. Oh, you should keep interviewing. I know people will say to me like, oh, but I've got the job now. This is a really good job. Keep interviewing. What if something better comes along? Even if you've accepted, keep interviewing. They still got to get references. They still got to get all your paperwork together. Keep interviewing. Yes, I'm not telling you guys to do this all the time, but sometimes you might have to take an offer and then say, you know what, I'm really sorry and I really apologize. And I've done this. I've done it once. Only once in my entire career have I ever done this, where I accepted a role and I still had 2 more interviews and I went to them. And something in my spirit was saying to me, I don't know if this is your job, Adele. It was paying really well, really good benefits. I'd negotiated some really good stuff. But something was just like, I'm not sure. I want a job closer to home. At that point, I was in a season where I wanted to be closer to home, wanted to be closer to my daughter. And I remember thinking, money-wise, this job's perfect. Benefits-wise, this job's perfect. The other jobs I was interviewing for were actually paying less. So actually, I wasn't going to be on as much money as I'd already been on. And the job I'd accepted was paying way more than I was on. So I was getting a lot more, massive pay bump, amazing benefits, car allowance, the whole shebang. I ended up taking a job for less money than I was on at that moment and less money than obviously I'd already been offered at that great job. Literally almost no benefits, but it was around the corner from my house. 13 minutes door to door. Oh, best job ever. 13 minutes door to door in the car and I could park there and just walk to my office. Firstly, I'm going to save so much money on travel. So now I'm calculating that into the salary. I'm saying, okay, I'm losing money, but actually, am I really losing money? Because I'm paying about $2,000 to go into London a year. I'm now close to home. So I'm paying less. Literally around the corner, 13 minutes. Oh, it was beautiful. Bear in mind, I used to drive to the station, park at the station, and then take the tube into Central. Because I don't live right near a tube station. And I didn't always want to get on the bus because the bus just gets on my nerves sometimes. So yeah, I decided to go for more interviews, and I had to then make that awkward call and say to them, I know I accepted the offer, but I'm really sorry. Something that I'd previously gone for has come up and I can't turn it down. I'd be silly to turn it down. It's more money, it's this, it's that. Now, sometimes they might counter offer you and say, like, no, we really want you. Here's the counter offer. Don't take the counter offer. Because now, because you've done that, listen, they're never going to treat you right. Like, have the awkward conversation and keep it moving. You are doing what is best for you. Just like they will have the awkward conversation with you when you're being laid off. Sometimes you've got to have the awkward conversation just because you've accepted an offer. If something better comes along, consider it. Ask yourself, is the better where I want to be? Is the grass greener? Because sometimes it's not. Weigh up your options, weigh up the season of life you're in is so important. The season of life we're in is so important. It's not always about, oh, but they're going to offer me 20k more. Sometimes the 20k means nothing compared to everything you're going to get where you're at. Sometimes the growth where you're at is going to be better because a year from now, you might be on 30k more staying where you are versus, yeah, you're going to get 20k more to go right now, but what if there's no growth? What if you're not going to be able to earn anymore because they say to you, right, you're getting 20k, like we're paying you this much money, but you can't ask for a pay rise for 2 years. Or the annual leave is really bad and actually you know that you need time to be able to travel, or they're the type of job that expects you to come in really early and leave really late, even though they're not paying you for the extra hours. Like, have you asked these questions? Have you found out how their working culture is? Because sometimes the grass isn't greener and sometimes it is. I'm being honest. Sometimes the grass is definitely greener. And I'm headed over there. I'm headed over where it's green and shiny and I'm going to water it. And sometimes where you are might not be as green, but it just needs a tiny bit of water and then actually it will be great for you. So what season are you in? Are you in the season of needing more money? Are you in the season of needing more time? Are you in the season of travel? Are you in the season of kids and having a young family? There are different needs when you have a young family. Like being closer to home sometimes is super important. Working less hours sometimes is super important. Like I know recently I was talking about working 8 till 4 and everyone was like, that's a normal working day. Well, good for you, because all the jobs I've had, I either have to work 8 till 5 or 8 till 6. But getting a job where I could work 8:30 and start at 8:30 and finish at 4, perfect for me. Like for all of you that don't have that and are able to like, that's your normal working hours, I congratulate you, because I thought only teachers work those hours. As far as I'm concerned, if you work in corporate, you work 8 till 5 or 9 till 6. And for some people, you work 8 till 6. I've had those jobs where you work 8 till 6. So for any of you that are able to finish at 4 every single day and you work from 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. till 4, well done. Keep that job. Keep that job, earn that money and work less hours, because the corporate jobs I know, you never leave the building at 4 o'clock. Unless you started at 7, then it's like 7 till 4, but then you started at 7, so like, it defeats the object. So what season, anyway, I went on a little tangent there, but anyway, what season are you in? Think about the season and then think about the jobs that you're going to go for. That's what I want you to do when you've made redundant. Redundancy should give you space to really think, to really see, like, where am I moving to strategically? What am I doing for myself? Remember, you can take a job and know in your head that you're only going to stay for a year because you're using that job to grow your business, or you're using that job because it's going to pay you a lot of money. But then after that, once you've got all that money and you've invested it, because that's what you want it for, you want to invest, you're going to go back to a job paying a little bit less, where it's a little bit easier. Do you need a job that's easy? Maybe you're in the season of peace, soft life, easy life. Maybe you just want to do a job where you can close your eyes and get it done and it's super easy. That's okay. We don't all want to climb the corporate ladder and be the boss or be the director. There are seasons of your life where that's not what it is. Like, I know there's probably going to be a season in my life again where I want to climb again and I want to be the top boss again. Like, that season will probably come back round. It will. Don't think just because I have a business that I'm not still ambitious in my 9 to 5, because I really am. I like what I do. I enjoy it and I want to keep doing it. But who knows? A year from now, I might be saying something totally different on this podcast. I might be saying to you, listen, I'm in the season of full-time entrepreneurship. There are no rules. There are just guidelines. You get to navigate your career your way. For anyone who's currently been laid off or going through redundancy, I feel you. I understand you, and you're not alone. You can have a conversation. You can talk to me. You can DM me. You can message me. I respond. You don't have to be one of my coaching clients for me to respond. I'm always talking to people. People message me on LinkedIn just to say, oh my gosh, I listened to one of your podcast episodes and I really resonated with this. What do you think about this? And I'll answer them. Not might answer them. I will answer them. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not in the DMs doing free coaching. I'm not, because coaching is still my business, still my job. No one asked you to go and do your job for free. Like, so I'm not doing my job for free, but I'm helpful. I like helping people. I like having conversations with people. Redundancy is hard. We can bond over redundancy because I know how it feels. I've been there. Layoffs are hard. Let's talk about it. Don't feel like you're alone. Talk to someone. Don't take it personal because it's not you. It's how these companies are working and operating at the moment. Sometimes when you get those no's and you get those rejections from those jobs, it's protection. Because how many of you have been rejected from a job and told no and then found out that job, that company shut down, or they've gotten bankrupt, or they've made mass layoffs? Sometimes you got rejected after that interview because they realized the budget was no good. Their boss has told them hold all hiring, and they actually rejected everyone and no one got the job because there was a full hiring freeze halfway through the process. I want you to know that you're not alone when it comes to redundancies. They're hard for everyone. But if it's happened to you and you're here now, start networking. Look at your CV. I've got a whole free CV guide that you can download. Go to my website, join my mailing list, and you will get the free CV download and the free quick interview tips. It's just 10 really simple interview tips. But the CV, I talk to you about how to change your current CV and how to change your CV for a career change. It's free. Go use it. Don't download it and just have it in your inbox. Use it. These are the techniques I use to rewrite my clients' CVs when they're working with me. So use my techniques. I'm literally giving them to you. If you've used it, you've tried it, it hasn't worked, and you need a little bit more help, reach out. But start there. Have conversations with people. Networking conversations are free. I worked with someone recently and she was like, I was able to get 10 different people to speak to me. Yes, that's what I want to hear. 10 people. Pick 10 different people's brains. And I know some of you listening hate that word, pick your brain, but I like it. I'm going to use it. I like when they say that. And I know some people get the mental image of someone picking at their brain. That's weird. My brain don't work like that. Picking my brain means you're asking me for information. You want some assistance with something and you think that I've got the expertise. So you want to pick my brain. You want to get down deep in my knowledge. You want to know some of my knowledge. Yeah, let's share some knowledge. Network. Talk to people. If one person helps you with one thing, ask someone else to help you with something else. And remember, it's a give and take. Make sure you're giving something in return. Make sure you're also helping them and giving them advice too. Networking should be mutually beneficial. It shouldn't just be about you take. It should also be about what you can give. What do you have to offer to this relationship and this situation? This situationship. How can you offer help in that situationship? Networking is also a great way to get referrals and find out about jobs that you might not have seen advertised. There are still ways to be strategic in your redundancy. There are still ways to be strategic, even when you're annoyed and frustrated that your company has put you in this position. There are ways that you will learn to move differently going forward. Don't dwell on what has already happened. Sitting in that sadness, sitting in that anger doesn't change anything. You're not going to get rehired by the company. They're not going to say, I made a mistake. We shouldn't have made you redundant. That's not happening. So don't sit in the anger. Feel your feelings and then move on. Decide what you want next and how you're going to get it. And if you're in a space where you just need a job, go take that job. But while you're there, look for a better job. There are seasons when we need to just take a job, and it's okay to be in that season. 6 months from now, you don't have to be in that same season because now you've got a job, your bills are paid, start looking for a better one. You ain't got to be stuck for a year in a job because, it's going to look bad on my CV. And guess what? I got a job where I was there 3 months. And what? If I don't care, they don't care, because the energy I sit at interview, I downplay that. I downplay those 3 months like it's nothing. Because if I downplay it and it's nothing to me, and I'm convincing, they believe me at interview, it's nothing to them either. Go get your job. Do what you need to do for you and keep it moving. Redundancies happen. Your character will always be tested. The people who are successful, it's not that they didn't get made redundant or they didn't get laid off, it's how they navigated after that. Hope this has helped someone. And I hope if you have been made redundant recently, you find something really soon. If you've been laid off, I hope you find something really soon. If you don't follow me on LinkedIn, go ahead and follow me. It will help open up your network. When you like someone's post on someone else's network, someone else sees it. When you comment on someone else's post, someone else sees it. This is how you might get seen. Post that you're looking for a job. It's okay. It's normal. LinkedIn has normalized the fact that we can jump on there and say, I'm currently looking for work. This is my expertise. These are all my great qualities. And if you're looking for someone like that, reach out. I'd love to interview with your company. Like, sell yourself. Go ahead. Head over there. That should have been the first thing I said. I'm about to say bye and I didn't even tell you like that. Go on LinkedIn if you've been made redundant and post. Tell people you're looking for work. Share. Do not be embarrassed. Put the green banner on if you need to put the green banner on. You are looking for work and there's no shame in your game. Anyway, thanks for listening and we will speak on another episode.
I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening and see you next time.